What's up guys, this is Kyle from Good Gaming and Collectibles, and today I'm going to be testing 17 faulty PlayStation 3 consoles that I bought from Facebook Marketplace. So in my last video I showed the general condition of some of these consoles and described the faults that were written on them. Today we're going to go a step further. We're going to plug them into the desk behind me here and into the monitor, and we're going to see if we can confirm some of those faults and potentially even discover some new faults on the consoles that were not labelled. I've inventoried the stock off camera, and we'll be starting with CECHJ models or newer with yellow light of death or triple beep, as I have a feeling those will be brought back to life a little bit easier. From there, we're going to go to CECHH models or older, and then like disk drive, video faults, and unknown faults as well for some of those unlabeled consoles. So hopefully we might even find some that work, and that would be nice. At the end of this series, I intend on showing you the profit or loss that's been made on each console in this bulk purchase. If you're interested in following along with this journey of testing 17 PlayStation 3 consoles and trying to repair them, please consider hitting the subscribe button, as I will continue to post videos as I progress through the lot. Let's get into it. First up, we have a CECHJ. This one says it's overheating, so we'll give it a go and see what happens. I'm just paying attention to the indicator up here. There's no video yet. Oh. 3 beeps and a red flashing light. Just gonna do that again, just see if there was a yellow light in there. It's very brief. This will change to yellow for a split second before going to red. Yep, it did it. So that's the yellow light of death console, but being a J, hopefully it's neck tokens. So yeah, we'll have a look at that when we tear it down. Next up is a KO2, and this one is the one that said yellow light. So I think we know what we're in for with this one. Let's get it plugged in though. Got a red power indicator, give it a go. Oh, that one's quick. That's pretty well instant. But yep, definitely yellow light of death. Next up is the one that had 8 Mile hanging out of it. And this was a JO2 that said it's loud and turns off in a few seconds. So let's see what happens here. Red power indicator, give it a go. Oh, yep. See if we get video. I don't like running them for too long when they do this. I don't want to cause any more damage. Yeah, no good. So yeah, we'll see if we can sort this out when we open it up, repaste it, and see what's going on the inside there. Another JO2 here with the triple beep. Red power indicator. Power button's not working. Cool. I will quickly pop the lid off of this and we'll see if we can press it without the lid. Alright, the lid's coming off now. This is always interesting because you don't know what you're going to find in terms of dust and stuff like that. Clearly it is pretty dusty, but yeah. We are here to plug it in and see if it will turn on. I can't have it up sideways because the disk drive will fall out, but I'll move it back to where you can see it. Actually, I've just noticed why this wasn't working. If I can get this in front of the camera, that is your power button right there, and it is, it's all on the piss. So it's been bent out of shape. But yeah, we'll be able to press that now, and we'll see if the console works, and if it does, we can address that later. Alright, giving it a go by pressing that little tab. Nothing happening there. Just give it a little bit of a bend, and now it's good. So we've got, yep, green, sweet. So I'll give this little button a tap on here. Done, we've got a green light, red light, and yeah, red flashing light. So the red and the green came on together, which is yellow light of death when they're displaying through the case itself. That's what it looks like. JO2, another one that should be savable with a little bit of work. Right, up next I've got the last of the CECHJ or newer triple beeps, or at least the ones that we know are triple beeps because of the writing on them. So we're expecting this one not to turn on either. We'll see what happens. Yep, instant yellow light of death, so probably needs token replacement, and we'll get this one working, so stay tuned for that. So next up we have the CECHG with the yellow light of death, as per the note on the front. So there's a few of these we're expecting they're going to fail. but we'll have to connect to the syscon part of the motherboard and extract the codes and confirm that it is RSX fault or not. And if it's not, then potentially it's capacitors, it's something savable. It's not that we're going to give up on these, it's just that I've got to extract the codes and figure out if they're actually worth saving or not. So we will do that, and these consoles will feature again in the videos as I do that. So, but anyway, let's give this a go and confirm the fault. Yep, there we go, another yellow light of death. Alright, next up I've got a CECHG. This one's got no hard drive, but it doesn't actually mention anything about a yellow light or anything on there. This is the one that said it was $5. So if it's got no hard drive, it should just boot to a screen that tells us as such. If there's another issue with this console, as in yellow light of death, we're soon going to find out. Well, I just flicked the power and nothing happened. So yeah. This one was pretty beat up though, like this is missing a lot of panels and it's already open on the front and stuff like that. So yeah, who knows what's going on with that, we'll have to pull it apart to find out. Got another G here that says it is a triple beep, so probably yellow light of death. Yep, went yellow. No worries, that one's confirmed. Next up we have another G that says 3 beeps, so it should be the same story as the last one. Eventually we'll get a console that can actually display something, that'll be fun. This one's lasting a little bit longer than the others. And that's it, it's over. It's just enough to wake up the screen at the top. Alright, next we've got a KO2. This one says it can't turn on due to a broken shell and that there's a disc stuck inside. But again, as with all the rest, we're going to confirm the fault for ourselves. Alright, I can already see a space here, so this is probably not going to work, even if I squeeze it hard. Alright, I'm going to pop the cover off for this one quickly as well and see if we can bypass that. Alright, so the top cover is going to come off of this one. Let's see what we find inside. I've already found a spider's nest. There was a nest wrapped all around that one, or a web. Oh, yuck. Just filth in there. That's around the area the spider was, but I don't see any evidence of a spider, so that's good. Yeah. Let's plug it in, bypass this button. This is disgusting actually. Like, it is actually probably infested with something because there's corrosion everywhere and lots of sort of stuff here around the ribbon cables that kind of looks insecty. Yeah, disgusting. Anyway, I'm just gonna plug it in and get it over and done with. Alright, you can just see the red indicator on the bottom there. What is going to happen? Oh, okay. Yep, yellow light of death instantly. Yeah, well, I won't be in a hurry to touch this one, that's for sure. It is gross. But it's probably fixable with enough work. I just had one more thought with this one. I'll try and get the disc out. Yeah, nah, won't even get that far. That's unfortunate. I was kind of interested, but yeah, we'll just get it out manually at a later point. Alright, up to number 11 now. We have a CECHH. This one has no fault written on it either. I suspect it's going to be yellow light of death as well. But we'll plug it in and see what happens. This is the one that said it was $35 in the shop at some point in time as well, written with the texter. Let's give it some power. Red light has shown up. It's a little bit faint on this one. Instant yellow light of death. Cool. So as with the last one, we're going to have to get the syscon codes from the motherboard for this one to determine the exact fault and go from there. Next up is another H model. Same as the last one, we don't know what the fault is. Give this some power and see what happens. Come on, give us some luck. Nah, another yellow light of death here. Kind of expected, to be honest. But yeah, same as the last one. I need to grab the syscon codes and figure out what's happening. This one is a J02 with an unknown issue. Red light turns on. Oh, I missed that one. Yellow light of death as well, so probably completely savable. But yeah, we'll get into this one in a later video. Alright guys, hopefully we can see something with this one. So this is the CECHL, won't read discs and is modded. So let's find out what all of that means. And pray that it's not a yellow light of death now. Sometimes these consoles, when they've been sitting around for a while, even if it didn't have an issue and you pulled it out of storage after 3 years, just as an example, they can still develop yellow light of death, as those capacitors and neck tokens can still fail in storage. So that's great, but let's not jinx it. So we've got red power here. Let's give it a go. Please show something on the screen. We're like 14 consoles deep, I think this is, and we haven't seen a single thing. Let's go. Some volume. So evil nat, possibly dead CMOS battery because it's asking for the time, but that's not a big deal at all. We've got 4.88 firmware on there. So let me grab a controller and we'll get into it. Got a controller. This one's got a cable, so I've probably used it to test before, which means it's good. Today is 17th of January, not that this really matters too much, but sometimes some things wig out if you don't set at least the year correctly, but I'm not really planning to connect this to the internet, so we're probably fine regardless. In case anyone was wondering when I'm filming this, that is the time. So we've got what's up. Sounds like what's up, but fancy. What's up? Alright, what's going on? What is up? Yeah, okay. So we do, yeah, custom firmware and the stuff that you need to run games from the hard drive and that sort of thing. We've got a couple of games that have been recognized straight up. I don't know how far I want to get into that because who knows whether he owned these games or not. So yeah, if we scanned the hard drive for more games, it's quite possible that they would pop up. But yeah, I'll jump in here. Game data utility and see when it was sort of last used. So God of War was installed in 2021, so that gives us some idea of when this console was last used. There's some audio with that one. Yeah, lots of stuff from 2021. That's probably in line with when that firmware came out. Not that I know off the top of my head, but it sounds about right to me. And save data, yeah, finishing in 2021 there. How big is the hard drive? So an 80 gigabyte console, that makes sense. Firmware 4.88 confirmed. Nice. What I will actually connect this to the internet just for the purpose of seeing how much runtime this console's got, because I'm curious. Before I jump into that though, I guess we'll confirm the other issue. So it doesn't read games. So I'll just grab a copy of Call of Duty here. We'll pop it in and see if that is the case, because this will be a pretty easy fix more than likely. So it accepts the disc, that's half the challenge. Sometimes that doesn't work. The disc logo is spinning at the top right up here, so it knows there's a disc in there. The blue indicator is on the front, so it's trying to read the disc. Nothing's happening here though, so yeah, possibly we just have a laser related issue here. The laser might be completely faulty. I think I've seen this before and we've had to replace the laser. It may just simply be dirty. But yeah, this will be easy. So we'll open this up and get this sorted pretty promptly, because the easy consoles are the ones that we want to focus on as a business, because we've invested money into these consoles and we want to try and get return on investment as soon as possible. Anyway, I'm going to connect it up to the internet and we'll see how much runtime we've got. Alright, so it should be connected to the internet. So we want to jump into the internet browser and just jump on ps3toolset.com. This is actually the website you can use to jailbreak the consoles from in the browser, but we're just going to use it to check the runtime. Actually, it's good practice to clear all this stuff in here. So delete cookies, delete search history, I don't care for this stuff anyway. I don't buy people's consoles and look in their search history. It's not something that interests me. You know, I find it interesting to know what games people have played and when the console was used, but I'm not into looking at what you've been looking up. I will pass on that. In saying that, there's been one instance where I was typing this in just like this, and then in the recent search bar here on the side was definitely a variety of adult entertainment websites, we call it that. Just got to give this some time to load up and do its thing. It's going to prepare the console for jailbreaking, but I mean the console's already jailbroken and we're not going to be messing with that anyway. Alright, 3 beeps means it's ready to go. It's going to show us some info in a second. Get rid of this. Jump over to System Manager. From here, you can actually access syscon codes. So if your console's working and it's having faults, like it is having 3 beep shutdown or something like that, and you can get it to turn on, you can get to the errors from here, the errors section. I'll show you that in a second, but just above that, we can see how many times the console's been booted and shut down and the runtime. Not sure how well you can read it, but we've got 876 boot count and 704 shutdown counts. So there's about 170 instances here where the console hasn't shut down properly and therefore would not have recorded its runtime for those sessions as well. It is pretty normal, to be honest. I see a lot of this sort of stuff. This just means that the power cable's been ripped out. It's had, the house has had a blackout. You flip the switch at the back of the console without shutting it down properly, those sorts of things. And yeah, that's pretty common to see on a console of this age. But runtime is actually pretty low. So 93 days, that is probably why this console is still working, to be honest. It's a lot of use and thermal cycles and things like that that can cause damage to these consoles over time. So yeah, the low runtime, while it is kind of surprising because of the condition of the consoles in this lot, it's not surprising in the sense that this console is still working. And if I can open this up, all the error codes are logged in here. The time for these might be wrong because the clock battery is dead. It's logged sometimes from 2006 and some from 2010. Again, I don't know how accurate they are. It's a lot of errors that sort of look like, yeah, they occurred when the console was running. It's hard to decipher what these codes are without having the language written in front of you to translate them. But yeah, to my understanding, from what I've seen, these are just codes that occurred when the console was running. I can't tell you too much more about that without looking them up. But given the console's working and the error codes are from a really long time ago, is really not a concern. So the only concern here with this one is the disk read error. So that's going to be easy. And it's given me my disk back, which is another great thing because sometimes it's the eject part that doesn't work. So yeah, awesome. We'll put this one away and move on to the next one. Next up, we've got a K02 model. This is the one that said disk drive issue and no picture. So yeah, we'll plug it in. I'm hoping that we're going to be able to see some stuff with this one. But yeah, straight away, I mentioned in the last video that it's possible that the video output is set to AV and I'm obviously using HDMI. So just straight away, I'm just going to hold this down for a little bit till we hear a second beep. And that's going to reset the video. And I'm just going to grab that controller from just before while this boots up. So far, console is still on. Cool, and we've got video. So in actuality, there is no issue with the picture. So let's output to HDMI. Yeah, that's a pretty common thing that I've been seeing. I'll get a console where it just doesn't display anything, and it's quite literally as simple as just resetting the video settings there. And yep, there we go. Okay, this one's modded as well. So we can see here, we've got the hen logo straight away on startup. So you need to enable hen each time you run the console in order to then be able to play your games and stuff that are saved onto here. So we do just see similar programs on here though. All the homebrew programs are pretty much the same. Yeah, won't get too much into the games as I mentioned with the last one, but we'll see. So interesting, Sega Rally installed in 2021 there. And any PS2 stuff. the only thing that's on here is that Sega from 2021. And username Lion37, no other users, so there's not going to be any other games hidden on here somewhere. And another 80GB console on 4.87. Cool. There's no real reason to run hen on these consoles, to be honest. At this point in time, all of the firmware can be modded with full custom firmware like EvilNat, like we saw before. So if I was keeping this console, or if someone was interested, I'd probably be removing the hen side of it, getting the firmware updated to the latest version, and installing full custom firmware. But yeah, let's test out the disk drive, see what's going on with that. Firstly, no disk in there. Just taking my disk. Same as the other one, so we've got the blue indicator on the front of the console and the spinning logo at the top, and the disk drive works. That's interesting. I wonder if we've got to install Call of Duty. I kind of hope not. Guys, I don't even think there's anything wrong with this console, hey? That is, that's interesting. I might speak too soon, I might not be able to get my disc out, but it seems good so far. I guess we're not skipping this. That is a throwback though, far out. That just takes me straight back to zombies when I was in high school. Oh, let's go. Yeah, look, I don't need to play the game. It's loaded the game and it's working. So that's it's kind of given me some motivation to play some World at War though. This was a bit of a cracker of a game when it came out. So yeah, I don't know what to say other than it's been misdiagnosed, I reckon. It obviously, yeah, it definitely needs a clean up. It's not as evident in this lighting today, but it needs a pretty good cleanup. We're going to try some different polishing methods, I think, with these front covers because there's so many of them that are scratched. And yeah, that's one I really don't have to do a lot to, other than just give it a tidy up and maybe open it up and clean the internals for good measure as well. So awesome. Of course, I have left my disc in there. This happens more often than I'd like to admit. Give me that back. Thank you, sir. Next up, we've got the CCHL, which is missing the disk drive. I can't have this one up sideways. Jeez, that was awkward pulling that off. So it's full of dust and stuff. I don't even think I've tried to run a console without a disk drive. I think it might have a hissy fit, but let's just try. Why not? It's got the hard drive in there. Power indicator. Don't worry about the lid, we don't need that. Beep, let's go. That looked like yellow light of death. You guys couldn't see it, but it went, the red and the green were indicating together, and then it's gone to a red beeping, red flashing light, which we can see just here in the bottom right. So it was probably yellow light of death and then been stripped for parts, or the console doesn't boot without a drive and it's giving us an error for that. I don't really know. I'm not really interested in this one. I feel like the disk drive is coming out for a reason, and this is probably just going to be better for parts. So, and that's totally fine. Right, last but not least, we have the backwards compatible CECHC. Now, after I finished recording the last video and I moved this console, the top cover just popped off on its own. So I guess it's been disassembled before. And yeah, this was one that didn't have any error codes, any errors written on it with a sticker or anything like that. No hard drive. That's great. So we're probably not going to make it too far with this one right now. No power light. Yeah, who knows what's going on in here. I'll obviously pull this apart and have a bit of a look at it, and we can be really hopeful that it's something simple. Because if it's the RSX chip, which needs a reball, I'm not equipped for that kind of work at this point in time. So it'll be sitting around for a while. Anyway, no power, can't do much more with that one, so it is what it is. Sorry if the microphone goes weird here for a moment. I've gone handheld, but as I've gone through the video, I've grouped the consoles. So on the left, we have the CE/CHJ or newer consoles with confirmed triple beep or yellow light of death. So all of those should be repairable, and there's 7 consoles there. And then in front of that, beside that, we've got the CE/CHG or older. So there is 5 of those with confirmed yellow light of death. They may not be savable, but as I mentioned, we're going to do the syscon code extraction and see what's wrong with them. In front of that, we've got CE/CHG with no power. So, you know, no power is not a yellow light of death. That could be a really simple thing. Could just be a replacement power supply. It could be a connection to the motherboard. We might be able to bring that one back pretty easily. And then we've got disk read error console. This was the one with the custom firmware that we got running on the screen there. So that's going to be pretty simple, some sort of laser repair or replacement. So that'll be working pretty soon. This one here was the one that said it had a video issue and a disk drive issue, but as we saw, it read Call of Duty and it displayed video. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that, which is good. The next one here was the CE/CHL with no disk drive, so likely a parts console, and the CE/CHC backwards compatible that has no power currently, and yeah, it doesn't look promising, let's put it that way. So yeah, that's how we've ended up at the end of this video. We've got, let's call it 7, potentially 8, 9, 10 consoles that I'm pretty confident we're going to fix out of the 17, and then hopefully there's some in here that we're going to be able to fix as well. So guys, that wraps up today's video. Thank you for watching, and if you're interested in following along with this journey, please consider hitting the subscribe button. As I mentioned, I do intend to continue uploading videos as I begin to repair these consoles. Thanks again, and have a great day. Cheers.